Hey, what's up, stock compounders? Brad here. So today we're going to get into the 13th misjudgment from Charlie Munger's Psychology of Human Misjudgment series. After this video, we'll be more than halfway through all 25 of these cognitive biases. So 13th tendency, Overoptimism Tendency. That's what we're going to dig into today. I'm going to start with an excerpt from Poor Charlie's Almanack, and then we're going to dig into a few other resources to help unpack this. So first, from Poor Charlie's Almanack on Overoptimism Tendency. About 3 centuries before the birth of Christ, Demosthenes, the most famous Greek orator, said, "What a man wishes, that also will he believe." Demosthenes parsed out, thus was saying that man displays not only simple pain-avoiding psychological denial, but also an excess of optimism, even when he is already doing well. The Greek orator was clearly right about an excess of optimism being the normal human condition, even when pain or the threat of pain is absent. Witness happy people buying lottery tickets or believing that credit furnishing, delivery-making grocery stores were going to displace a great many super efficient cash and carry supermarkets. One standard antidote to foolish optimism is trained habitual use of the simple probability math of Fermat and Pascal, taught in my youth to high school sophomores. The mental rules of thumb that evolution gives you to deal with risk are not adequate. They resemble the dysfunctional golf grip you would have if you relied on a grip driven by evolution instead of golf lessons. Which reminds me, I should really take some golf lessons. I don't think my grip is quite right. So that is from Poor Charlie's Almanack. So I asked ChatGPT, what is the simple probability math of Fermat and Pascal that can serve as an antidote to foolish optimism? Fermat and Pascal, 2 great mathematicians of the 17th century, are known for their work on the theory of probability. Their work laid the foundation for modern probability theory, which can be used to make more rational decisions and guard against foolish optimism. One of their key concepts was the idea of expected value, which can help in evaluating the potential outcomes of a decision or situation. Expected value is calculated by multiplying the value of each possible outcome by its probability, right? The likelihood that it will happen, and then summing these products. In simple terms, it is a weighted average of all possible outcomes, where the weights are the probabilities associated with each outcome. Here is a basic example to illustrate the concept. Imagine you have a fair coin, and you are offered a bet. If the coin lands on heads, you win $100. If it lands on tails, you lose $50. To determine if this is a good bet, you can calculate the expected value. First, you assign probabilities. Since the coin is fair, the probability of heads is 0.5, and the probability of tails is also 0.5. Second step, calculate the expected value. Multiply the probability of each outcome by its corresponding value. So you've got 0.5 times 100 plus 0.5 times negative 50 equals $25. In this case, the expected value is $25, which means that on average, you would win $25 for each bet in the long run. Therefore, it is a good bet to take. Using probability theory and expected value calculations can help guard against foolish optimism by forcing you to consider all potential outcomes and their associated probabilities. This approach encourages a more balanced assessment of risks and rewards, allowing you to make more informed decisions based on the available information. I want to point out, for a lot of things, in real life, we don't know the exact probabilities of how likely they are to happen. And that's okay. What this exercise forces us to do is come up with our best guess of probabilities. It really forces us to think critically about what the potential outcomes are, and perhaps a range of likelihoods of those outcomes. So it's not about precision, it's more about the exercise of considering all the possibilities. I next asked ChatGPT-4, what are some antidotes that can be used to combat over-optimism tendency? We just looked at one, using probability and expected value, but what are some others? Over-optimism tendency can lead to unrealistic expectations, poor decision-making, and an underestimation of potential risks, right? The downside. To combat this cognitive bias, consider the following antidotes. Seek diverse perspectives. Consult people with different backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints to gain a broader understanding of potential risks and opportunities. This can help you identify potential blind spots and biases in your thinking. Number 2, conduct thorough research. Investigate the situation thoroughly by gathering data, studying industry trends, and analyzing market conditions. This will help you make more informed decisions and avoid relying solely on intuition or assumptions. Number 3, embrace critical thinking. Question your own assumptions and beliefs and be willing to change your mind when presented with new evidence. This can help you maintain a more balanced and objective outlook. This reminds me, Charlie Munger, I think he said something like, a year that I don't destroy one of my closest held beliefs is a year wasted. Okay? Be willing to question your own assumptions and beliefs. Number 4, create contingency plans. Develop alternative strategies to address potential setbacks or changes in circumstances. By preparing for various scenarios, you can better adapt to unforeseen challenges and avoid overcommitting to a single course of action. Right? Plan B, Plan C. Number 5, be open to feedback. Listen to and consider the opinions of others, even if they contradict your beliefs. Potentially, especially if they contradict your beliefs. Constructive criticism can help you refine your ideas and identify potential weaknesses. Number 6, set realistic goals. Establish achievable objectives based on your resources, skills, and the current environment. By setting realistic goals, you can maintain a healthy balance between optimism and realism. Number 7, practice self-awareness. Recognize your own biases and tendencies. That's what we're doing now. And be conscious of how they may influence your decisions. This self-awareness can help you identify when you may be overly optimistic and adjust your thinking accordingly. And of course, number 8, I think ChatGPT put this in because I asked it in the previous question. Use probability and expected value. Employ the concepts of probability and expected value to evaluate the potential outcomes of decisions or situations. This can help you make more rational choices based on the available information. By implementing these antidotes, you can mitigate the effects of over-optimism tendency and make more informed, balanced decisions in both your personal and professional life. Okay. Thank you, ChatGPT-4. Now, I'm going to jump into this Farnam Street post. We're really just going to look at the end. Okay, it's going to be quick here. What are the ways of restraining overconfidence bias? The discipline to apply basic math, right? We already talked about this. In Seeking Wisdom by Peter Bevlin, he reminds us that overconfidence can cause unreal expectations and make us more vulnerable to disappointment. A few sentences later, he advises us to focus on what can go wrong and the consequences. Okay? Some great investor, I don't remember who it was, maybe it was Klarman, focus on the downside and the upside will take care of itself. Okay? Build in some margin of safety in decisions. Know how you will handle things if they go wrong. Surprises occur in many unlikely ways. Ask, how can I be wrong? Right? Who can tell me if I'm wrong? So those two questions are gold there. If you're really confident in something, go deeper. How can I be wrong about this? Who can tell me, right? Who can shine light on where I may be wrong? I also want to mention overconfidence, okay, causing unreal expectations. Charlie Munger has said the key to a happy life is to have low expectations. Okay, so this tendency, this bias of overconfidence really works against happiness, okay? Because when we have overconfidence, we can have very high expectations of ourselves, which doesn't leave much room for success, okay? Because chances are we're going to fall short if we have very high expectations. And that is a recipe for misery and suffering. So many good things in here, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's tendency number 13, overconfidence bias, overoptimism tendency. Obviously a very important one. So that's all I've got for today. Oh, well, let me throw this one in here. As always, with the Lollapalooza effect of overlapping, combining, and compounding psychological effects, this one has powerful partners in some of our other mental models. Overconfidence bias is often caused or exacerbated by doubt avoidance, inconsistency avoidance, incentives, denial, believing first and doubting later, and the endowment effect. Okay, so one of the reasons we're really trying to develop fluency around all of these biases is that if they stack up, they stack on top of each other in this Lollapalooza effect, they can really cause trouble, okay? Exponential trouble, problems in our lives. So, and clearly overconfidence bias is susceptible to that, to kind of being piled on from some of these other biases. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.